Okay, so anytime. So I'm just going to get into doing a quick introduction. So personally, I have been obsessed with red light therapy for a long time. I'm not sure, I've shown it a few times on my social media, just on like my stories and on my page, and mine is like, it's this big, it's a little guy. So I would put it on my face. So while we were watching, me and Hubs would have TV time at night, and I would hold it on my face for like, it would beep every 3 minutes, and it would take a good like 25 minutes to get my whole face. But I loved it. Like I loved the benefits. And then infrared, I used to do when I lived in Toronto, but infrared is a little impossible where I am in the Durham region right now. It's just hard to get to, but I've been a forever fan. So when I saw that they had a light that had infrared and red light at the same time in a really big model, I was just like, oh my goodness, I get to do both of them at the same time. And also apparently it's a bit more effective when you have the infrared and the red together. So all in all, I was pretty excited. So I got myself the really big red light / infrared light and have been kind of sunbathing in front of it in the mornings. My husband caught me doing one of the very funny positions that I do with it. You want to get your whole body, like all the parts.
Absolutely.
We thought it might be a funny reel at some point to show some of the funny positions that you do to get all of your organs and areas. But it is a fun one. So I thought it would be fun to have professionals come on versus me, doing the research and coming to you with the research. These guys actually run a company where they've got the infrared machines, they've got the red light, they've got all the different kind of healing therapies. They're out in, I want to say LA.
San Diego, but close enough.
Very close. Yeah, San Diego. It's all kind of California is slightly LA to me. It takes
all the West Coast.
Yeah. There's other places, but so they know all the things. So they're going to come and give you guys a little bit of information on red light therapy, infrared, other healing things, modalities that they might know as well. And you guys are also open to ask all the questions about how, what, why, who, when, all the things. So with that, I'm going to hand this over to the professionals to give us a little bit of an idea of how this works and why we want it as part of our routine.
Cool. Thanks so much, Elizabeth, not Tyson, for having us on the meeting today. We're excited to talk to everyone, and we do have some slides, so I'll share my screen. But it's okay. Disabled participant screen.
So just so you know, guys, so we'll open up the chat on the right side because not everybody shows their screen. Some people are just at the bottom. So Caitlin and I will also just kind of let you know if there's some chats happening. Caitlin, is it me heading it or is it you that needs to give them the hand?
I think it's me. I'm just looking for the button here. Okay, multiple participants. Did that change anything for you?
Let's try it again. Oh, yeah, that did change.
Perfect.
And we know no one likes slides, but we're going to try to make this as fun as possible, I promise.
Right. Are you all able to see that screen?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go on Do Not Disturb. So we're not interrupted. And like Tyler said, I know we have some slides, but we really want to make this interactive and fun. So feel free to chat and Elizabeth will let us know, or go off mute, if you have any questions or comments, because we like these to be interactive and fun. So to start it off, just a quick intro. I'm Adam. I'm one of the co-founders at Sun Home Saunas, been a wellness enthusiast for quite some time now, and I'm really excited to bring that passion into my work and really excited to talk to you guys about it today. Tyler, do you want to do a quick intro?
Yeah, my name's Tyler. I pretty much have the exact same story and background as Adam. So good job there. But have been in the biohacking vitality space for quite some time, and really wanted to find more ways to make these tools accessible for, the everyday modern person. A lot of the technologies were only available in medical centers or day spas, or took up a lot of space. And so, we've been working really hard to make sure that these modalities are very affordable and accessible for everyone, so they can capture the benefits of heat and light therapy.
Nice.
Awesome.
And Tyler's also from Canada. Just putting that out
there. I'm also from Toronto.
That's important. Don't leave that out, Tyler. So, and so jumping right in, I know Elizabeth set the stage talking a little bit about how she loves red light therapy and infrared therapy and her experience there. Before we even get into infrared, just want to ask you a quick question to kind of set the stage here. So feel free to jump off mute if you're brave, or chat, or even I think there's a little hand raise option to raise your hand. How many of you use saunas regularly or consider saunas part of your wellness routine?
When I can find one. Caitlin,
okay.
Caitlin's hand is up. How do you do the hand up, Caitlin?
At the bottom of the screen, there's reactions. So you can laugh, applaud.
Thank you. Okay.
I don't know how to put it down though, but.
Cool. And it looks like Danielle and Charlene, hopefully I'm not butchering anyone's names, and Brittany, Tyler, and Elizabeth, and it looks like you guys are all use saunas regularly, so that's great. We love saunas in general. Heat therapy is amazing and has you feeling really good, and there's a lot of scientific benefits to it, which we'll talk about in a second.
I think what's cool is, traditionally people just associate it with sauna use as something that, makes you hot and feel good and reduces stress. But there's hundreds of medical studies now that just outline so many incredible health and longevity benefits when it comes to reducing risk of disease, cardiovascular health, toxin elimination. So excited to dig deeper into the science behind it, because I think it is one of the most powerful wellness tools you can integrate into your routine.
And so taking it one step further, how many of you have used infrared saunas regularly? These ones are a little harder to come by, not traditionally in your gym, but it looks like, I'm sorry, what Hourglass Coach, what was your name again?
Caitlin, sorry. So
Caitlin.
I go to a yoga studio that uses an infrared sauna as part of their hot yoga and hot Pilates. So it's just right underneath me, luckily. But before that, I'd never seen one before. So.
Awesome.
She raves about it.
It's the best. The best 2 days of my week, by far.
That's
amazing.
Awesome.
That's two birds with one stone, because the infrared helps your muscles and joints be so much looser. Adam and I used to go to this place called Core Power in Little Italy, San Diego, and it was infrared, and it totally changed the game. And for hot yoga, I felt it was usually too humid, and I would just get gassed out and tired really easily. But the infrared, it doesn't make the room super hot. It just heats you up from within. So it's a lot easier to do a lot of the poses and actually maintain throughout the hour, instead of just doing shavasana for 45 minutes straight.
Someone is saying there's a triple echo due to not being on mute. I'm going to try to mute myself.
Okay, we will mute when we're not talking. Did that help? Okay, it looks like most people are on mute now. Hopefully that helps. Feel free to take yourself off mute. And I was just gonna ask Caitlin if you're okay sharing, what do you find any differences or anything that you like more in the infrared versus traditional?
I mean, I do also the Hourglass workouts in my condo, and it's just the amount of sweat and heat that you feel almost instantly. There's times where I don't really feel like pushing myself, but just being in the studio with the heat, you already feel like you went through a workout. I'm drenched, and I'm not a big sweater regularly. Like sometimes I'll even turn the heat on in my condo because I want like the same effect of there, but like it's not comparable working out here. I mean, I do my heavy lifting here and then I do the lighter stuff there when it's not as strenuous. Oh, you're muted.
Oh, no, I'm doing it. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, what I like about the infrared is that I feel like my head doesn't get as hot, and I'm like, I'm gasping for air in the traditional by 20 minutes, and I really want to try to hit the 20 minutes. With infrared, I can stay in a lot longer, and so I feel the deeper sweat and the benefits. I just feel like it's more effective without me feeling like death, you know. So I think that's what's really cool about the infrared modality.
And I mean, I know you guys are going to talk on the actual benefits and why infrared and all that type of thing. But for me also just, I have they have an infrared blanket, which is a new thing that I've been trying. And one of the things that's just kind of a different type of benefit, like one, I really liked it, but I like to just research. I like to just read a lot of stuff. So one of the things I was researching was with infrared, it could be an issue if you have breast implants because there's metals and, it can pull. So one of the things I thought was really cool with the blanket is that I don't need to go all the way in. So I could use the infrared just to my tummy and down and not worry about, leaching out things from them and that type of thing that could cause an issue. So I thought that was because I can't do that in an actual infrared sauna, but like it's going to do everything, all like the whole body. So I thought that was really cool and just kind of made me comfortable using the infrared and not worry about kind of potential heavy metal issues. And then for the light, when I'm using the infrared light the red light with the infrared, I've had hip issues for a long time from cheerleading. From having to do like tumbling in November in Toronto outside, and like jumping into splits and stuff and just like destroying my hip flexors. And usually I have to use like the massage gun and like a bunch of different things, but I found without even using the massage gun, since I've been using this, I'm able to like have more mobility in my hips, just like in the last 2 weeks of using it regularly. So definitely seeing like immediate results, which is pretty cool. But you guys can talk on like what are the actual benefits of it. But yeah, for me, it's I love gadgets, and some of them work really well and some work over time, and some of them you do it because it might work and you're not sure, so whatever. But this one, it's actually kind of immediate, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's a good story. I mean, work with a lot of athletes in the NBA, in the UFC that face a lot of injuries, and they want to accelerate the time from when they're first injured to when they're back in the game. And infrared has been known to help, increase the healing process. And yeah, like there's so many, gimmicks out there with respect to, all these claims around, helping with anxiety or depression or pain. And so what we really like about both infrared and red light is, they were, first of all, they were created by the government. So we'll dig more into that. And it's all backed by Harvard, Stanford, like really reputable, studies and improvement benefits as well. So we'll walk through that though.
Yeah, it's very cool hearing the success stories from people using these. So I'm going to actually jump into a little bit more about the benefits. We'll walk through a couple other questions, but Tyler, do you want to talk a little bit about this slide?
Yeah, sure. So Siim Lund, he's from Europe, and he's one of my favorite biohackers. He has a really informative Instagram, by the way, which he gives like amazing biohacking tips, nutritional tips. I use him as my source of truth, and he always does Q&As every week. And so I always get a lot of my information from him. But he lays it out pretty easily, the difference between dry heat and infrared. So if you've been into a regular sauna, like at a spa or a gym, it gets extremely hot. And the reason that it benefits you is because it heats the air surrounding the cabin of the sauna. And that's what produces sweat. But it's obviously not as comfortable. And so you can only really tolerate 15 to 25 minutes before you get really uncomfortable and you get dehydrated and you need to leave. Infrared is different because it uses infrared wavelengths to penetrate the body and increase your core body temperature from within. So it only needs to be like 140 degrees Celsius, or sorry, Celsius, Fahrenheit, where a dry sauna needs to be 180. So that's a massive variance. So you get a deeper sweat because it's penetrating your body from within. You can stay in longer, right? So we have a lot of clients that do 45-minute sessions watching Netflix because it's a much more comfortable, comfortable temperature. And so I think the infrared wavelengths, they have a lot of therapeutic benefits compared to just going to a really hot room, but it's just far more just tolerable. And we'll walk through the specific benefits of infrared versus dry heat, but that's the overarching difference, I'd say.
Yeah, and feel free to jump in if anyone has any questions or comments as we go through these slides.
Yeah, and I wanted to recap this guy, James. He has an amazing Instagram too. Just really great content. But what we've noticed as there's been more science and technology out there, it comes back that the best modalities and ways to optimize your body and longevity are just natural things that you could do every day without any physical products or tools. Or of course, there's tools out there to make it easier if you don't have access, right? Fasting, people used to think, all right, having 6 meals a day or constantly eating is the best way to maximize athletic performance, recovery, and strength. Now we know it's not the case. Fasting for 16 hours has so many biological benefits from autophagy and cleansing your internal system, from hormonal balance, from spiking human growth hormone, moderating sleep, right? There's so many amazing, even like I'm more cognitive, and I'm sharper when it looks like there's a chat here when I'm fasting. So I think that's a really good benefit, and everyone should try, even at least for 12 hours and experimenting with fasting to see how you feel, because that has really been a dramatic change in my life. High blood pressure. So we get this question sometimes, and what we've found is that people with high blood pressure can use infrared, but typically should stay away from the high heat of dry saunas. But we're not allowed to obviously give medical advice. So we always say, like, ask your physician or doctor. Herniated disc. It drastically, red light therapy especially, which combines red light and infrared, reduces inflammation dramatically in pain. So, I'm not sure if it would necessarily mend the herniated disc, but it can help soothe the symptoms associated with it.
Yeah. Oh, I think you're muted, Elizabeth.
There we go. Yeah, as far as the inflammation, since I've been doing the red lights in the morning, like my face is just not puffy. And like, you get up in the morning and sometimes you have a bit of a puffy face. It's just not. Like, I'll do the red light and then it just looks a little bit more normal. So just like really fun, immediate differences. But you can see, because you look at your face more than you'll look at, body inflammation. You can kind of just catch that more because so I can attest to that.
Yeah. We hear reduced puffiness, and also like it gives the skin like a dewy, moisturized look almost. And we actually source customers some before and after pics for this. So we'll walk through those in the presentation too. Sunlight is one of the most powerful tools you can use, specifically in the morning and in the evening, right? So right when you rise, get direct sunlight, either through the sun or red light therapy device. That optimizes your circadian rhythm. It downs cortisol. It gets you ready to dominate the day. And it starts your internal clock. So always, the second you can, when you rise, don't look at your phone. I don't look at my phone until 30 minutes, after I'm waking. So I'm not reactive to my day. I can really take control of my day. So I get out of bed, get in the sunlight, or if I'm traveling or, it's cloudy out, because if it's cloudy, you need at least 30 minutes of direct sunlight. I don't have the time for that on my busy day. So I'll just get 10 minutes of red light therapy. So in the morning, and then typically when it gets darker at night, so sunset time is a great way to prioritize sunlight. Sleep, the hustle culture, I think, has just like decimated sleep these days. But I think it's one of the most powerful tools out there to help you live a longer and happier life. I know I'm a different person when I get 5 hours versus 8 hours. So it is so important to prioritize sleep. If you get less than 6 hours sleep, you are 30% more cognitively impaired. You're literally dumber if you don't sleep. So do yourself a favor and get enough sleep. Spending time in nature, obviously everyone knows, that's important, especially in an urban environment. So getting out there and you're just being with the natural environment. Real food. I know everyone's trying to get shredded and looking at calories. There's a lot of like protein bars out there, and there's sucralose infused zero calorie various foods out there. I think sticking to just a basic whole food diet, things where you can understand everything in the label, will have a dramatic impact on how you feel and how you look. You're on this, in this session because everyone obviously exercises. I don't need to harp on that, so I can skip that, but that's obviously a non-negotiable. Hot and cold, those are extremely powerful. Heat, we talked a lot of it before. It's actually, when you're using heat therapy, it induces your body into a pseudo flu. It makes your body think that you're sick. And so in turn, it increases your white blood cell count to improve immunity as well. Cold is amazing first thing in the morning as well. And also paired with heat, it drastically reduces inflammation. We don't sell many cold products, but I'm sure you've seen like the rise of cold plunges and cold tubs, ice barrels. Combining fire and ice is just incredible. Salt and magnesium. Everyone says drink more water to get more hydrated. When you're dehydrated, you have a depletion of salt and magnesium. Right? You need to have electrolytes in these combinations when you're hydrating. And I do that first thing in the morning, right? I'll have purified water with salt, magnesium. I use like pink Himalayan salt and squeeze a fresh lemon in it. They get your body hydrated and gets you all the nutrients because you've been depleted from water the past 8 hours of sleeping. Earthing. This is also becoming more popular. It is as simple as taking off your shoes and socks and getting out into the ground and just soaking up what the earth have to offer, the negative ions. It has an incredible benefit in terms of what it can do for the health.
I have a question for you on that one. So, now that I have a backyard and I'm not in the concrete jungle anymore, I've been wanting to do earthing. I've always been interested. I have an earthing mat that, like I said, I love gadgets that I would use sometimes, but not as much as I should. Because I know when you're up, they say when you're in a condo, which I know some of the girls on the wall are, and I was for like 20 years, that the further you are away, the more important it is that you do grounding. So for me, I wanted to start doing grounding now that I have a backyard finally. But I'm new to gardening and didn't get the organic, stuff. And I'm just like, I don't really want to step out in front of the pesticides. So I saw that there's like earthing shoes and stuff like that. And I'm just wondering, like, what are your thoughts? Like, I know you can step on the concrete, you can step on the earth. Are you guys doing it barefoot? Are you carrying what's on the grass? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I think as long as you have a direct connection to the earth and you're limiting the barrier. So I wouldn't recommend concrete, but if you can get on the grass, even if like you're inputting soil yourself, it still has a direct pathway to the earth, and so it'll have benefits. Obviously, not everyone has access to an ocean, but the sand, if you're ever on vacation, you're walking the beach, you feel so good, it's because you're just being powered by negative ions. And so I think any way that you can get in grass, dirt, anything you name it that looks somewhat natural will benefit. Spoiler alert, we also are launching what we call PEMF mats. And so this is an easy way to basically ground in an urban environment. It has amethyst crystals, infrared, and it provides a lot of the ions and grounding benefits, but in a technology modality. So there's a sneak peek that no one's seen yet. Cool. And then lastly, I think meditation, laughter goes really well with each other. Every high performer that I talk to, they meditate on a daily basis. Laughter, right? When you're smiling, you literally can't be sad. It's like a physiological response. And I'd like to add gratefulness to this as well. If you're ever feeling like anxious, sad, depressed, upset, you can easily just think about what are you actually grateful in life. And it is physiologically impossible to be on a negative state while you're actively practicing gratefulness. So I try to implement these on a daily basis. I think he really nailed it in summarizing it. So just wanted to give some tips that don't necessarily involve products or technology, but can really help you optimize your mind, body, and soul.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for going through those, Tyler. And one point that I wanted to bring up is, we recommend trying to do all 12 of these, right? Sunlight, it's so important. Nature, but we don't always have access to those, right? Sometimes it's cloudy for a whole month, or we live on a 4th-story condo like I do, and it's harder to get outside quickly because you don't have a yard. So our products are designed to help kind of fill in the gaps there. Maybe I don't get sunlight this morning because it's that marine layer is out, but I have the red light therapy that I can turn on and stretch in front of and start my day. So it's a really nice kind of complement to or supplement to things on this list. And just the point about the inflammation, what's most pain or even depression, things come from, I think even Alzheimer's, they say it's inflammation in the brain or early dementia. Most of those problems, those physical problems do come from inflammation. So although we can't help a herniated disc, we can help a lot of the inflammation that it causes and help alleviate the pain surrounding that, to help speed up that recovery process. So just wanted to throw that in there. So for this piece, we actually have a quick video from Instagram. This is Rhonda Patrick. So she is a doctor that has a pretty great Instagram as well, if you guys are interested. And I will just play this video for you.
Exercise plus sauna improves cardiovascular health better than exercise alone. Exercise for 8 weeks improved cardiorespiratory fitness and decreased fat mass, whereas exercise plus the sauna further improved cardiorespiratory fitness and lowered blood pressure and lowered total cholesterol. Previously, observational data showed something similar, but this 8-week trial was able to establish causation and prove there's an additive effect on cardiovascular health when you combine both exercise and the sauna. Exercise training for 8 weeks did increase VO2 max, and it also decreased fat mass, but it did not lead to significant improvements in blood pressure, arterial stiffness, or total cholesterol. Participants who engaged in exercise training plus sauna bathing for 8 weeks had further improvements or increases in VO2 max, but also significantly lowered their blood pressure and total cholesterol. If you want to learn more about the benefits of sauna use, including those on cardiovascular health, check out my topic page on the sauna at foundmyfitness.com/topics, or check out my podcast, episode number 73, where I do a deep dive on sauna.
And so I think it's just important to note that they're both really powerful on their own, using a sauna and of course exercising. But when combined, it compounds the efforts. Also, sauna use, can be not a replacement, but somewhat of an alternative for exercise. If, let's say, for an example, we worked with someone who was injured and they couldn't walk for like 6 months, but he was in the sports and fitness space, and he wanted to get the cardiovascular benefits, is also the calorie burning from sauna use. And so when you're in a sauna, your heart rate is elevated to 145 to 165. So it mimics cardiovascular exercise. And that's if you're like maxed out in a big sauna unit, of course. Typically it's around 135, 140. But they call that stationary aerobic cardio, right? You're pumping your heart, you're pumping your blood. So it's great for cardiovascular health. And then with infrared specifically, it helps eliminate adipose tissue. It helps eliminate obesogens, which are fat cells that only infrared rays can penetrate and eliminate. So you're getting a calorie burn, you're improving your cardiovascular health, and cutting fat at the same time. So I think it's just really powerful to combine, and especially sauna after exercise. If you go on a 4-mile run, use the sauna after, you'll notice you're so much looser and you're less sore the next day as well. So it can be really powerful in that sense.
Right. Yeah, we all want to be shredded, as Tyler said, but running 6 miles a day isn't, that practical, right? You're going to be in pain. Your joints are going to hurt. I know mine are. So the sauna is a great way to supplement exercise without any impact or soreness, and you get a lot of the same benefits as the exercise. So this two more videos for you guys. This one's quicker.
One time we might just want to make this actually, we'll see how long it is.
Yeah, we can make this. Okay, yeah, that's quick.
Exercise plus sauna.
Here we go.
So when you get hot, whether you go in the infrared sauna, whether you go in a classic finish sauna, or go in a hot tub, you are moving blood away from the core to the periphery. Then when you get cold on purpose, you are returning that blood. Okay, that's essentially what you're doing with exercise. When you're moving your muscles, you're exercising muscle pushes blood around. So this is like exercising without having to exercise. Now, this doesn't sort of circumvent the need to exercise. This is an adjunctive therapy to prevent the number one cause of death in this country, which is heart disease. Okay. So you want to get cold on purpose, get hot on purpose, because you're moving blood around, you're exercising that endothelial tissue. So thermal stress is a validated way to support metabolic health because it moves blood around, in addition to other things, heat shock proteins and so forth, that can improve insulin sensitivity. Okay, so that's really important at the site of the skeletal muscle. So when you get hot, whether you go in the infrared.
Yeah, so I know we only have about 15 minutes left, so maybe we'll skip the next video for now. But we'll share it with you all. So
in this video right here,
we've got till 8 o'clock, so you're okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, I would love if the team can actually hear this, because this kind of transitions from like performance and recovery benefits to health and longevity. So let's check that one out. It's not too long. Andrew Huberman is like a celebrity in the space. So great podcast. He has some really good ones with the School of Greatness and Lewis Howes. I recommend you guys checking out.
And were you guys all able to hear the audio okay? Okay, great. So
when you get hot, whether you go in the infrared.
If you get into the sauna the way I just described, 30 minutes twice a week or 3 times per week, you reduce the likelihood of dying of a cardiovascular event by 27%. If you do it 4 or more times per week, you reduce the probability of dying by 50%. It's very clear that what you need is the release of something called dynorphin, which is the terrible feeling that you get when you're in really hot temperatures. It's also the terrible effect that alcoholics feel when they are in withdrawal. That's what you're trying to trigger. When you do that, a number of things happen. You set off heat shock proteins that go repair broken proteins. It also makes it so that later endorphin binds its receptor more strongly. If you get into the sauna the way I just described, 30.
So heat therapy makes you live longer and makes you happier, releases endorphins. I think is a good summary for that.
Right. Yeah. And what was cool that I learned about the dynorphins actually is that the endorphins actually strengthen to combat those dynorphins. So endorphins that you would get from any everyday activity, like going on a run or going to the gym or even giving someone a hug, that happiness that you would get from that is stronger now through this dynorphin stimulation, which I thought was pretty cool. So another question, going back to the interactive part, we talked about traditional saunas, we talked about infrared saunas. How many of you have heard of an infrared sauna blanket? And this is maybe a trick question because Elizabeth mentioned it already on this call. So, but maybe before that, how many of you were familiar? Much less. Julie, okay, a couple of you.
It's your time to shine, Adam.
Yeah, so what we've done with this infrared sauna blanket is basically put an infrared sauna into a much more portable and affordable option. So these infrared saunas, the good ones with the quality heaters, low EMF, range from $5,000 to $10,000, and they're pretty big. So going back to the condo thing, I probably don't have space for an infrared sauna. I could maybe make it work, but the infrared sauna blanket is great because it uses carbon fiber wires that when they heat up release far infrared waves. So you get the same heat modality that an infrared sauna provides. So that deep penetration, heating your muscles at the core, getting that deep sweat, you can use it anywhere, right? On your floor, on your bed, on your couch. We recommend putting a towel over your pillow behind your head because you do sweat. We recommend about 20 to 40 minutes, working your way up just the way you would do a normal sauna or normal infrared sauna. When you're done, you unvelcro it and it lays completely flat. And then you just wipe it down with a rag with any household disinfectant, or some people like to make their own with some tea tree oil and vinegar. And they're great. One thing I actually like better about this than going to the sauna at my gym, which unfortunately is traditional, my head sticks out. So, Liza Beth made the good point about implants, or we had somebody who had a metal in their shoulder from surgery, didn't want to heat that up. You don't have to have your whole body submerged. So your head doesn't feel as hot while you still feel the really strong physical benefits around your body, around your joints, around your muscles. You get that deep sweat, your skin looks and feels great, and you get those endorphins and also oxytocin and serotonin release as well, dopamine as well. So those happy chemicals that make you feel good while relieving that inflammation and pain. Any questions, or anyone want to share their experience with infrared sauna blankets?
Oh, I can tell. I have the blanket. So I would say like using the blanket, it's kind of like a sleeping bag, like you can see there. And for me, I just put it I put my yoga mat on the floor and my pillow, and then just put it on the yoga mat, put on Netflix and just sat, and it was really just very warm, and it was very cozy. It's like when it was done, I kind of wanted to turn it on again, but I know you're supposed to ease in, and I've only done it twice so far. So I was just okay, I'm going to follow the rules and just start off with the 25 minutes, and then I can work my way up to more. But it's very cozy, and your muscles just feel really melty. I don't know how else to say it. They just feel very, very relaxed afterwards. So it's a really nice feeling. And then I just rolled it back up and just kind of hit it in one of the rooms. So that was super, super easy. So that was cool.
Easy to store, and humans aren't the only thing that love it because it's warm and cozy. Cats are obsessed with it as well. If you have a cat, you lay in the blanket all the time, a cat will just come and sleep on your chest. It's hilarious.
Yeah, dogs too. We find that for some reason pets seem to love these products. And here's some of the benefits, which are very similar to those of infrared saunas. So we've talked a lot about it. And Tyler or anyone can feel free to jump in here, but the weight loss promotion by increasing that metabolic rate, but also hitting the cellular level through the deep penetration and shaking off those obesogens that can't otherwise be released. Increased longevity. So through decreasing inflammation and oxidative damage. So that basically increased longevity means living longer and healthier. Lower risk of disease. The dementia and Alzheimer's are the two that we want to bring up. It's very sad if you have someone in your family that has experienced that. And I feel like almost everybody has, has somebody close to them that might have experienced this. And to be able to start, I think, preemptively trying to reduce that at a younger age is really important. And there's some, really remarkable studies showing the proven benefits of infrared therapy and reducing those diseases. Then, one of my favorite, that's just stress relief and relaxation. I'm a workhorse and I can't stop working, and I go 8 hours a day, and then I hit the gym, and then I want to work some more. This really helps me just slow down, and through lowering cortisol, which is your body's natural stress hormone. It's hard to lower that when you work 8 hours a day or whatnot, or you go to the gym every day. So this really helps aid in that, and then helps with my sleep. You sleep deeper and you can sleep for longer. And then skin health. So we've seen some pretty cool reports of people helping with acne, but also irritated skin, signs of aging, wrinkles. The red light helps with that as well. We have some of those before and after pictures we'll show you guys. Immunity boost. So we eliminate toxins through the whole detox process. And we also strengthen antibodies and white blood cells. Chronic pain treatment. So I think, overall we're loosening the muscles and the joints, but reducing the inflammation, I think, is really the biggest part of it. A lot of the pain and, fatigue you get comes from various things causing inflammation in the body. And so to be able to reduce that through infrared and red light, we've just seen dramatic differences. And then lastly, improved mood. I just hit on this, but those happy chemicals, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, this is a natural way to stimulate those. And people literally come to us saying that their mood has drastically improved. So yeah, some really, really exciting benefits here.
Yeah, and Linda, to answer your question, red light therapy has been proven to be effective with eczema. I think infrared gives your skin a nice glow, and it helps people. It just has like it gives your skin like a vital look to it and younger feeling. But in terms of like ailments, wrinkles, scars, acne, eczema, red light therapy is really effective. I actually have a whole piece on that we'll walk through. But thanks for the question.
Yeah, great question. Yeah.
I would jump in too to say, like, when I was researching the skin, because I got into the red therapy first for just skincare, because I was like the whole face thing, and just like wrinkles and lifting and, just kind of like what's going to help with that. And I like to watch a variety of like doctors and scientists. I watch Huberman as well. And there's one dermatologist / chemist who I enjoy her content, because she's kind of like, some people in her comments will call her the Simon Cowell of like skincare. Well, she'll review people's stuff and she's so blunt about it that she will just go in, and I feel sorry for some brands sometimes. Like I was using, I forgot what it's called again, the new skin, like it does the current. And she blasted it, and she's just like, it doesn't have the science, But I was watching her one on red light therapy and infrared, and she was obsessed. And she said, it's proven to reduce wrinkles, it's proven to lift, it's proven to do increased collagen, thicken the skin, like all these different things. And to hear that from her, I was just like, well, it must be true, because she doesn't like anything. So that was one of the reasons that I even tried it, because I was just like, okay, if she's gonna give it the okay, then it can't be, whatever. And I also watched Doctorly, which is another YouTube with two dermatologist friends, I guess, and they review products as well. And they also said there's a lot of science on it, and they really liked it. And then doing it, like in my little one, it worked, but I have to say, using the big one, it's like I guess it's just more, I don't know if it's stronger, if it has more intensity, or I don't know what to call it. Like I know in lights, it's Kelvins. I don't know what the light numbers are in a red light infrared, but it feels very intense. And I'm definitely very, very glowy when I go downstairs to wash my face afterwards. I'm just like, my skin is almost shining, like I had just had an oil on it, even though I just woke up, so I didn't. And also, like, even just around the hairline, I'm noticing it's looking a little bit better. And I remembered when I was doing, if anyone watched on my Instagram, when I was doing PRP on my scalp, which is when they draw the blood from you, they run it through the centrifuge, and then they do basically like microneedling with your blood platelets. So I did that in my scalp, and I've done that a few times. And after, when she has the I can't remember what it's called, but the blood that's been run through the centrifuge, and when she puts that on your scalp, she'll put you under the red light therapy for a good half an hour with it on before you go home, to intensify and make it work better and help with the hair growth. And I mean, with all of them together, I have before after pictures on my Instagram, because my crown got a little bit, showing my age, so a little sparser, and it definitely showed improvement. So I'm kind of excited that now when I do the big light, like with the positions I do, I turn my back to it. So I've got from like the top of my head down to my bum, and then I turn around to the front, and I've got from the top of my head down. And, that's 2 of the 5, I guess, positions I do with it. And so I'm kind of excited to see what it will do with my hairline as well, because that's another benefit.
Yeah, and we actually have some before and after pics, and it's one of the most powerful non-invasive therapies that you can do, right? It doesn't require a trip to the doctor, it doesn't require needles or anything like that. So we love that you're getting the benefits out of it. This is a really good transition, I think, to go to red light therapy, the slides. But first, and there's some questions out there. If you only put the blanket on your stomach and below, would you burn the same number of calories? I don't think so, because a lot of the calories are burned through increased heart rate and sweating as well. And the obesogens are kind of spread throughout all the cells in your body. And so to maximize calorie burn and adipose tissue elimination, I'd recommend getting as much as possible. Anyone who isn't a candidate for infrared, not necessarily, unless if it's specifically recommended against from your doctor, if you have some certain like ailment or sickness or surgery that's preventing it. I know there's a lot, mostly women on this call, so we heard if you're breastfeeding, it's not a good candidate as well. Other than that, that's all I've heard. Does the heat warm up the face? I have melasma, which is activated by heat. So we did some lupus. Okay, interesting. We did some research, and it's been studied to help melasma. I haven't had any like personal experiences or clients. Red light therapy, that is known to treat melasma. I don't have any like friends or family that's had it that's helped, but we've heard that around the community. Cool. Want to switch?
Any other questions there? We got them all.
I have a question about the heavy metals. I'm just kind of confused about them in general. Like, I understand the concept of them, but are they coming from the red light? And how come, like, if somebody has metal or implants or whatever, should they avoid it? I also have like mesh, an umbilical hernia, that they put some mesh there too. I'm assuming that would also fall into that category, but if you can just explain that a little bit more, that would be great.
Yeah, I can jump in the first part of that, which is the red light is not invasive. So the red light doesn't penetrate as deeply as the infrared, and is completely fine to use with implants, metal, anything like that. The infrared, since that is a deeper modality, and the infrared waves, because of their wavelength, to penetrate deeper than the red light, I would just consult with a doctor about the mesh. We just want to make sure that you guys are safe, or if you wanted to use it on body parts that, that didn't have that procedure, you could do that as well. But I just would, just to be safe with, an implant like that, I would recommend consulting a doctor before the infrared. You're fine with the red light though. Did that answer your question? Okay, great.
So I just got booted off because my Wi-Fi got disconnected, and I have a Roomba. And whenever the Wi-Fi whenever like my power turns off, the Roomba goes absolutely berserk. So it sounds like there's like a war going on downstairs. So hopefully you guys can't hear that.
No, you're good. I was hoping you guys couldn't hear the helicopters that happen flying by my house right now. We're in San Diego, and there's like a couple military bases here. So I feel like I'm in a war zone sometimes, because they take them out for a joyride, those huge drones. But yeah, I'm glad that helped answer your question, Jocelyn. The red light, just to kind of sum things up, is the red light wavelengths hit that initial layer of the skin. So 5 to 10 millimeters, below the surface. The infrared, those wavelengths penetrate much more deeply. And so, yeah, moving on. I know Caitlin already answered this. How many of you have actually tried red light therapy besides Elizabeth and Caitlin? Julie, okay.
Yeah, it's a rather new technology that's been available to the public. They used to have they still do have a lot of medical facilities and like spas where you can do treatments. And so not surprised that many people haven't used that for saunas, because saunas has been around, way before I was born.
Yeah, and I will go to the next slide, and Tyler, you can jump in and talk about this infographic.
Yeah, sound good. So people ask well, if I have an infrared blanket, why would I also need red light? There's my Roomba. I hope you can't hear the dings going. But red light, as Adam mentioned, penetrates the skin itself. Is that loud? Should I turn that off? You guys hear it? Okay, sorry.
Not too bad.
All right, maybe you can summarize this slide while I turn it off. I'll be right back. Sorry.
Yeah, sure. So this is basically what I was just getting at. I kind of jumped ahead a little bit here, but it all comes down to that wavelength, right? So they're all part of this electromagnetic wave spectrum. Everything that you, all the, it's all in nature, right? The sunlight has many layers of the electromagnetic spectrum. Heat is generally, emitted as infrared among, the convection through the air. So this is all part of that spectrum, and there are different aspects of it. So infrared is part that you can't see. Red is one level below that on the spectrum, which is starting to become visible. And now it's visible to the eye, but it still penetrates the body or, objects. So red, gets that first layer, the epidermis, and into the dermis. Near infrared still helps with the epidermis and the dermis, but penetrates more deeply to the hypodermis and into the muscles and joints. So it's really about the focus of the treatment, I would say. And, to really get all the benefits, both, skin, I guess, cosmetically, but also physical, that more deep, those deeper benefits, we recommend using both.
Yeah, so near infrared versus far infrared. Far infrared is what's emitted from the blankets. Like Adam said, it's a deeper penetration, so great for toxin elimination, joint pain, loosening muscles. Near infrared is more beneficial for topical healing. So like the skin health, the improvement is very dramatic. Mild pain relief. Since it's 5 millimeters deep, all of the ailments that would occur within that range are benefited through red light therapy. Red light therapy, it's also called photobiomodulation. So it's a technology that was actually developed by NASA in the 1980s. And it's the specific combination of certain wavelengths from near infrared and red light therapy. It essentially, if I could sum it up, it emits the beneficial and healthy wavelengths of the sun, right? Providing a healing benefit on the body. So it allows you to connect with nature by using technology, but it just uses, not UV, none of like the damaging wavelengths of the sun, but only the ones that are therapeutic to the body.
Yep, that's a really good point, is that, as healthy as the sun is and how essential it is, it also has those higher frequency, higher energy wavelengths like the UV, which is, necessary, but too much of it can be damaging, right? Causes skin cancer. So this takes the parts of the sun that are harmless, right? That you still need, and you can still get a lot of the benefits from without sacrificing, your health.
So why don't we have light? So just like we need food, just like we need water, just like we need sleep to function properly, we also need healthy light. So light regulates our brain's chemistry, circadian rhythms. It controls appetite, energy, mood, sleep, libido, every metabolic process, every enzyme reaction, muscular movement, the digestion of food, burning of fat. They're all biological processes that are augmented by natural light, right? And so we need an abundance of natural light, not from your laptop, not from the lights above you, to live optimally. And red light therapy is a great tool to aid with that in a really non-invasive and convenient manner.
Yeah, and I know we are cutting a little closer. We got about 5 minutes left.
I'll just speed through.
Okay, cool.
These are some of the more popular benefits of red light therapy for the skin. It vastly improves collagen production. So as you can see here, I chopped part of my finger off on Sunday, cutting vegetables. And so I'm using red light therapy because it's known to accelerate wound healing and also improve collagen production. I'm also like ingesting exogenous collagen, but really, hoping nature heals with red light therapy. So I'm using that 10 minutes a day on the finger as well. And these are all the most popular proven benefits, right? Skin health, muscle recovery. It helps with body formation and contouring. Really interesting. It helps with mental acuity as well. So it provides a lot of the beneficial wavelengths that stimulate cognitive function. So a lot of people, in studies, has been proved to just perform better and think more clearly. Joint pain, sexual performance, it really helps optimizes a lot of the hormones. For guys as well, they get a natural testosterone boost. So we have a lot of bodybuilders that will use red light therapy on certain areas of their body. And then relaxation and sleep, it promotes natural melatonin release and again, optimizes your circadian rhythm when used at the appropriate times. And we can skip.
I know you're on the time crunch, but Caitlin mentioned something to me. Caitlin already knows what I'm talking about. So we were talking about red light therapy, and somehow the conversation went to Caitlin. You can say it better than me. Maybe people putting their asses to the sun.
Oh, there's a show I was watching, and it was called like sun buttholing, where they just directed themselves at the sun. Like I read, there's no science in it. It's kind of like a hippie trend, like the hipster trend actually that the people were doing. But yes, I don't know where I saw it on actually one of the reality shows on Netflix. It was on where these rich people, it was something they were doing.
That's so funny.
But no one likes white cheeks, so maybe it just helps with that. Tans the buns.
Yes, sometimes the hipsters know what they're doing. Cool. And yeah, here I guess there's some before and after pictures. These are specifically red light. So this was used directly on the skin, and like Tyler said, the increased collagen production. As you get older, your body doesn't create that collagen, which is why your skin starts to age and wrinkle. And so this is a natural way to stimulate that collagen production.
Do you know what the timelines were on these? Because that's crazy.
Yeah, we say, so red light therapy is the most beneficial when you use it frequently and consistently. So we say 3 to 4 times a week, and you start reaping a lot of the benefits between 3 to 6 months. So it does take some time, but obviously there's substantial, benefits when you're changing the makeup of your entire, body. What's great about the 1800 watt that Liza has as well is it's full body. So it comes with a door hanger where you can hang it on a door, like I do it myself, and you can get everything from your face down to your knees, all, included. So we do have like targeted ones for your face, but I think you get just a lot more when you can expose, your entire body to the device.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to mention something else that I actually mentioned to Elizabeth about when I train in the infrared studio versus conventional. The infrared studio does crush my appetite. Like I told her I have to bring a coconut water, and I tend to just eat like a salad or a smoothie or something cold, and then I want to go to bed. Whereas if I train conventionally, it's like you're craving pasta, this and that. So I feel like I have a calorie deficient on the days I train there before dinner, but I don't know if it has any appetite suppression type of features to it, but I always feel that way afterwards.
Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, I have never heard of that specifically being a difference with the the heat and the infrared actually suppressing appetite. But
like maybe it's just I crave because I usually have watermelon, salad, something very cold. Whereas after training conventionally, I'm like, I can have pasta, steak, potatoes, anything. So maybe it's just the type of foods, but it was an interesting observation that I had mentioned to her.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's a very cool observation. Yeah, nice. See, we're learning new stuff too, new benefits.
I know we got to jump here. Or sorry, here's one more before and after, but this is more just focused on the face, fine lines, wrinkles, and just overall like skin health improvement. I did want to include the promo codes, so we're hooking you all up with some discounts on both the tools that we were talking about today. So $50 off for the Sauna Blanket. Just use Elizabeth 50. and then $100 off the 1800 watt full body panel. What's great is that they're stackable. You can use them at the same time. They're complementary to each other. And they're just a great way to harness the power of the sun and nature, and just a really convenient, non-invasive treatment. So thank you guys so much for joining. It was great to meet everybody. We'd love to come back on again. Feel free to hit Adam and I up. We're usually responding on our Instagram messages. Or our emails are just Tyler and Adam at sunhomesaunas.com. Always happy to help field any questions and answer. And then Liza, just thank you so much for having us. It's been a pleasure and super fun.
Does anyone have any questions or anything that weren't answered, or any other like finishing, just to make sure you guys got all the thoughts?
Hey guys, just wondering any maintenance issues that we need to know about? Is it have to get it tuned up or?
Yeah, good question. So I'll start with the red light. They're built out of a metal alloy, and they come with the 1800 watt, has about 8 fans inside to keep it cool. And then the control panel's still built in. So it's really built to last. I've had mine for quite a while now. Yeah, and like you see here, there is a 5-year warranty on these. So, if anything did happen, let us know. But the LEDs, they last for years, and then the whole device is pretty sturdy. The blankets, since it's one heating zone, the carbon fiber wire runs through the blanket. It makes it so there's no moving parts, right? So it's a non-toxic polyurethane. Low VOC, so pretty nice material. It's comfy too, and then it's easy to clean. You spray it down. Even if you use like a household disinfectant, it doesn't harm the material. So so they're really built to last. We haven't had any issues with maintenance, and if you do, let us know. We'll fix it for you, provide a solution, or replace it for you if we can't.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say price-wise too, like I was looking, because I had my little handheld one for so many years. I've had it for, I don't know, maybe at least 4 years now, and I've been using it a lot. And I was looking at these huge ones for quite a while, but that size is usually like $5,000. So US. So I never got it, because I was just like, oh, that's just a lot. So it's a really, really good price for, it's big. It literally is from my head, past to about mid thigh. So it's a good size. It makes me feel very happy.
It's definitely an investment for life. Yeah. And it's crazy how much some of these companies charge. And again, our philosophy is to make all this accessible to the everyday, person and consumer that wants to optimize their longevity. So.
Yeah, and the red light, we do have stands, if you wanted to lie in bed and do it and use them, but they all come with a door hanger, and it's super easy to use. There's a pulley system, so you kind of pull it to adjust the height, and it just hangs on any door. And then you just, flip it on and use it. Some people will stand in front of that in the morning for 10 minutes to start their day, and then use the blanket at night to kind of relax and wind down. So they do really work complementary. And just to clarify, the discount, the Elizabeth discount is on top of the current sale price. So it would be, the blanket, $449, and then $14.59, or sorry, $13.99 for the red light.
Okay, I have one other question, just to make sure the way that I'm using it is okay, because it's so comfortable. Because I lay mine on its side against the headboard of my bed, and then I just kind of flip-flop positions, and there's so many fans, it's not affecting the fans on the back or the sides or the top. Is that okay to have some of the fans covered just on the bottom, do you think? Because it really is comfortable.
Yeah.
Just lie there.
Yeah, I think it's fine. If you're running it has a 20-minute max timer. Yeah. So it's not going to overheat if you're using it for hours at a time.
Feel like it is. Yeah.
Yeah, then you're totally fine.
Okay, because like I said, it's very comfy. While I have my back to it, I do my answer my DMs and stuff like that, and then when I do the front, I'll put on a podcast and just listen, and it's really, relaxing way to start the day.
Low key, like definitely can set a very cool vibe in the whole room, lighting it up. Right?
Yeah, well, Tyson sees it and he wants to come in and like, what's that?
Yeah.
Goggles on him, and anyway,
Exactly.
pretty cute.
Yeah. Oh, and also so it comes with goggles, because for some people that first use it, it can be uncomfortable with the eyes, but as you get used to it, you can actually take them off and they improve retina strength. So you don't need the goggles if you don't want it.
And I like that the goggles was silicone and not plastic, especially because they're getting heated up. So I thought that was a good thing, because I've never had silicone goggles before. So I thought that was well thought out.
Safety first.
Right.
Cool.
Any other questions or thoughts from anybody? And you can just turn on your mic if you want to chat, or you can write in the chat. Otherwise, I'll assume that everyone is all good for this week.
Sorry, just one last question.
Mm-hmm.
A couple slides ago, you mentioned something about releases dions or dion's. I wasn't sure of the word.
Yeah, so endorphins are released through saunas. Essentially, that can stimulate endorphin release, and so the happy chemicals of the brain, they're endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. So endorphins are like the feel-good chemicals you get when you complete a task, or you perform like exercises, and so it helps yourself release endorphins. But even like when you come in contact with somebody, it can stimulate that with another person as well. So it doesn't just help yourself; it helps kind of everyone around you.
Yeah, and those dynorphins, the interesting part is they don't feel good at the time, right? They can be kind of uncomfortable. Like you hit that 20 minutes in the sauna and you're like, oh man, I'm ready to get out. Like I feel good, but I'm hot, you know? So it's almost, you go through this little bit of discomfort, but after you feel so much better, and just, those endorphins just work better for you. And it's, your mood is enhanced. So it's a pretty cool phenomenon that happens.
I love that. Okay, anybody else? Any thoughts? I can't see all the hands, but you guys can just jump in if you have any last ones. I think everyone might be good. Okay, so I just want to say thank you so much to Adam and Tyler for coming on and chatting with everyone and giving us that was way better than what I would have done. So thank you. That was fantastic. And then Caitlin will email out those codes in case anyone's interested. And you can always DM me or Adam and Tyler directly if you have any other questions. I can show it to you guys next week. We're going to continue our topic from last week, which was a non-toxic home, because we didn't finish. There was so much. We got through an hour and there's still more happening. So continue to bring all of your fun stuff for next week for non-toxic home, and we'll keep sharing all of the products that we use. And it looks like everyone's saying thank you. So you can see in the chat area, guys. That was awesome. So yay.
Thank you all. Thank you all for having us. This was a great group. We're really excited to join. So we appreciate it.
Yay. Okay, perfect. Good night, everybody.
All right, everyone.